matter?
Yes, Ellen, you're quite white.
Oh, well, it's nothing. It's nothing at all. I just wasn't expecting you so soon.
Oh, it's so good to be back, Mother. I mean, the countryside is nice and all, but there's nothing like London, is there?
No, there isn't.
Just the same, as long as the Avenger's about, you're going to have to keep this young lady indoors, London or no London, and we're going to have to do something about those blonde locks.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I'll dye him, maybe.
Oh, well, Daisy, I might as well get you settled now.
What'd I tell you, Father? Shall have a dusting cloth in my hand before I have my coat off.
Oh, Mr. Sleuth.
What are you all doing in my room?
We were just leaving, sir.
I thought I made it clear, Mrs. Bunting, that I require privacy.
You did, Mr. Sleuth. You did.
From now on, Mrs. Bunting, I shall be keeping my room locked.
No, but you see, sir, I was just tidying up a bit, and Mr. Bunting, well, he just went to get our daughter. She just arrived. This is Daisy.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
She's been away for quite a long while, you see, Mr. Sleuth, and we've been a bit excited, you might say.
Yes.
And you were probably surprised to hear us laughing and carrying on.
Yes, I must say I was. But now, there are different kinds of joy, are there not, Daisy?
Yes, I'm sure there are.
Yes, there's the despicable evil joy of the abandoned. And then there is the divine joy and happiness of the blessed. A vast difference, that. You understand that, Daisy, don't you?
Why, yes, Mr. Sleuth.
I'm very glad to hear that. Nowadays, there are so very few young women like yourself who do.
Why, Mr. Sleuth, do you mean a girl is not to enjoy life at all? Not to have any fun?
Enjoyment and fun, my child, are the devil's breeding ground. All of his implements are there. The temptation of joy and dancing.
Oh, there's nothing I like more than dancing.
You like to dance.
She doesn't know what she's saying, Mr. Sleuth. She's just a child. Daisy, you were never one for dancing. You never learned how.
But I did, Mother, while I was away. What's so wrong with it? What's the harm in dancing?
It says, she lies in wait as for a prey and increases the transgressions among men.
I don't know what you mean. I've never heard such poppycock.
You call the scripture poppycock.
Daisy, go in the front room.
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Bunting. I'm used to this sort of talk. Good day.
He's a queer one, all right. But such a gentleman, too.
It's because of the rent Mr. Sleuth is paying us that we're able to have you home, my Daisy.
Well, in that case, I guess he's not so bad after all.
Oh, but he is.
What?
Ellen?
Daisy, I don't want you to be alone with Mr. Sleuth. Will you promise me that, Daisy?
But why should I make such a promise?
What's come over you, Ellen?
Nothing. My nerves, I imagine. Probably I'll go for a walk and get some air.
For a moment, Ellen was going to tell Daisy and Robert of her awful suspicions, but she stopped. They were only suspicions. At the same time, she'd had a thought. She'd go to the coroner's inquest they were having for the Avenger's latest victim, hoping to hear something said that would clear her suspicions of the lodger. At least she'd give him this last chance. A lady was testifying as Ellen took her seat. The witness had seen the Avenger from her window, she'd said, and her description of him didn't tally at all with Mr. Sleuth. I can't tell you how relieved Ellen was until it was pointed out that the witness couldn't possibly have seen anyone from her window that night because of the fog. The next witness was a Mr. Connaught. Ellen leaned forward anxiously as they swore him in and began asking questions.
You say, Mr. Connaught, are you positive you saw this man? Are affirmative, sir. It was only a few moments before the murder that I saw the Avenger.
Describe him.
Well, he was a very gaunt-looking man, and he wore a black cape. He walked with a bit of a limp, and he carried a cane. Oh, and he also carried a small handbag. Yes, sir. A small, narrow handbag, such as one that might contain a knife.
Please, silence in the court. Proceed, Mr. Connaught.
Thank you, sir. He seemed an educated man, I judge, but quite mad.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as he emerged from the fog, he was talking aloud to himself. It sounded as if he was reciting scriptures from the Bible.
There was no doubt about it now. Ellen was certain Mr. Sleuth was the Avenger. Running out of the courtroom as quickly as she could, running and walking, somehow as the nightmare of terror grew bigger and bigger inside her. She was 3 streets from her home when she saw her husband Robert. One thought hit her clearly. She realized Daisy must be home alone with the Avenger.
Robert!
Ellen, what is it?
Where's Daisy?
Why, she's at Madame Tussaud's Wax Museum.
Whatever is she doing there?
The lodger, Mr. Sleuth, invited her
The
there.
lodger? He's the Avenger.
Ellen, what are you talking about?
Listen, Robert, listen. Mr. Sleuth is the Avenger. I'm 100% certain of it.
I let Daisy go with him.
Hurry, Robert, hurry to Madame Tussauds. There's no time to spare.
Racing as they had never before, Ellen and Robert ran through town towards Madame Tussauds. They searched madly throughout the museum until there was only one place left to look. The Chamber of Horrors!
Listen, it says here that these are the actual death masks of some of London's most notorious killers.
I'm afraid I find this part of the museum a bit too ghoulish for my tastes. Suppose we return to look at the Last Supper again?
Oh, come now, don't you like a little nice fright every now and then?
Do I frighten you,
Daisy! Daisy!
Daisy, where are you?
Well, that's my mother and father. I'm in here!
Daisy!
Where is he?
Where's who, Mother?
Where is Mr. Sleuth?
Well, I'm not sure. He was here a moment ago.
No!
Oh, there he is! Mr. Sleuth!
Stop! He's the Avenger.
What?
Mr. Sleuth is the Avenger.
Over the weeks that followed, the Avenger murders seemed to stop, and the Buntings never saw Mr. Sleuth again. He had vanished as suddenly as he had arrived. Each night as she prepared for bed, Ellen was haunted by the thought of him.
Ready for bed, my dear?
Yes, Robert.
Good night, my love.
You too.
Sweet dreams, my pet.
Robert,
Yes?
where's Daisy?
Well, she wanted to clear her mind of things. She's at the music hall.
I suppose there's safety in not numbers. Right, Robert?
How many?
One, please.
How many?
One, please.
Extra! Avenger strikes again! Avenger kills blonde at music hall!
That was a warm and touching little fable, wasn't it? Naturally, the Avenger was eventually caught, indicted, tried, convicted, sentenced, and paid his debt to society. Although that didn't put an end to the occasional newspaper headline announcing yet another murder of another young blonde woman. But in the case of the lodger, crime does not pay, not even on radio. You must have a sponsor, and here is ours. Air travel has come a long way since passengers crouched in open cockpits bundled to the eyes. Now comfort has made its greatest advance in the history of flight. Imagine an airplane so perfectly air-conditioned that even the faintest trace of tobacco smoke is filtered from the atmosphere you breathe. Gracious stewardesses serve you cocktails and champagne dinners aloft, and pilots with years of experience in the friendly skies guide you smoothly to fascinating destinations just hours away. Mount Rushmore, the Statue of Liberty, and San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, just to name a few. On North by Northwest Airlines, the world leader in air travel, first class is the only service we offer. So come fly North by Northwest and get a real picture of how truly wonderful air travel can be.
Whatever direction you should fly, try North by Northwest. With first class service high in the sky, try North by Northwest. With destinations galore, so much fun in store. From sea to shining sea, when it's time for up, 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 up and away. Fly North by Northwest, try North by Northwest.
So, call North by Northwest Airlines ticket offices or your travel agent today.
When it's time for up, 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 up and away. Fly North by Northwest, try North by Northwest.
That was beautifully put. There are other kinds of darkness in London besides the fog and the night, and the heart of this part of the city is the darkest of all. The darkness found in the Bijou Cinema. The flickering shop lights illuminate the hustle and bustle of the city, and sometimes they go out. Something's in the air tonight, however, and the crowds of people aren't so much afraid of the dark, but are having a laugh instead. Folks joke on the underground, and the mood becomes light.
Midland Electric Light and Power Company.
Why, almost the entire city's in the dark, madam.
They're working on it now, sir. I can
Midland
assure you.
Electric Light and
Midland
Power.
Electric
Lights
Light.
out, power down, turbines stopped. What's that? Sand, sabotage. What's at the back of it? Who did it?
Carl Anton Verloc is on his way home from an errand of sorts. I should perhaps explain that home is a modest flat over a cinema he runs with his wife, an American named Winnie. And the errand? Well, let's just say that when he returns home, the first thing he will do is wash the sand from his hands. And now, sabotage. We're in front of the Verloc's Bijou Cinema at the box office now, where a crowd of patrons demand their money back.
Aw, come
Come
on.
on, you just know what you do that.
I know where the law stands, Mrs. Verloc. You broke the contract, therefore you broke the law.
But the blackout is everywhere. Just look up and down the street.
I paid my money to see the pictures. If I want to sit in the dark, I can do it at home.
Ah, free of charge.
Or I can stay at home and listen to the radio.
Well, who does that
I don't want to do
anymore?
that anymore.
I think it's a blinking shame robbing good people like that.
Ted, what are you doing here?
Just lending a hand in your hour of need, Mrs. Burke.
Oh, that won't be necessary. You can go back to your greengrocer's stand, Ted. I've got things under control here.
Very well, if you need me, all you have to do is whistle.
It's very kind of you, Ted. I'll try and remember that.
Hey, we've got to have our money back.
But
Yeah,
it's an
sure.
act of providence, like an earthquake or a thunderbolt.
Or a baby.
Ted, would you kindly not interfere?
We've got to have our
Yeah,
money
let's have a
back.
talk with him
Out
over
of my
here.
way, will you? Let a girl get to work. Oh, sorry I'm late, Miss V.
Renee, are are you a sight for sore eyes?
We're nearly blind once. I had a hell of a time eating my egg and toast in the dark. Half of it is in my ear now.
Renee, the audience are asking for their money back, and we can't afford it. Oh, I do wish Mr. Furlock would come.
Rotten place. I can't even see the pictures anymore.
Oh, listen to them, Renee. They're getting nasty.
Nasty? Well, you leave him to me, Miss V.
Oh, thank you. Now hand me that flashlight, will you? I'll go and see if Mr. Verloc has returned.
Don't be long.
I won't.
With the flashlight leading her on, Winnie makes her way through the dark cinema and into the living quarters she shares with her husband and younger brother Stevie. When she reaches her bedroom, she finds somebody's been sleeping in her bed, and he's still there. Have no fear, it's only her husband.
Carl! Oh, it's just you. Where were you?
Here, I haven't been out all evening.
But you weren't in 20 minutes ago when I called for you.
No, I was asleep. Why are you shining a torch on me? Can't you switch on the lights or something?
We can't. It failed.
What, the fuse gone down?
No, it's everywhere, in the streets and the trains. Carl, the audience are asking for their money back. They're making a terrible row about it.
Well, give it back.
What? We can't possibly afford to do that.
I guess we can.
Carl, you must be crazy. You're always saying we can't cover expenses. It'll clear us right out.
That's okay. Doesn't need to antagonize the public. I've got some money coming in. Go on.
Very well, it's your decision. But if we're going to be generous, let's do it properly. Why don't you come down to the box office with me and make an official announcement?
No, it's not worth all that fuss, Winnie. They used to you.